Hi there. Welcome to the Cupid's Bow Technique Module 3. So what we've got lined up today is really exciting content. We've got how to be a moving target, because on Module 2 we discussed a little bit about moving target, but we didn't actually go into the how to be a moving target. So this is going to be covered in this particular module, as well as what attitudes to adopt, how to be less invested in the relationship, how to be unpredictable, a little bit about how his love and connection rhythm works, what being a moving target is and what it isn't, and also the most powerful strategy contained within this course. So lots of good, exciting information coming up. But prior to that, let's just go on to the PowerPoint and just do a little bit of recap. So let me just share the screen with you and go into the PowerPoint and introduce you to the Cupid's Bow Technique Module 3, presented by myself, Lynn Smith. Right, moving on from there, we have the summary of Module 2. So last time then we covered the Cupid's Bow Technique principles. We also talked about how that relates to the metaphor of men are like Cupid's bow string. Followed that with secrets that make him fall deeply in love and commit to you. The dance of love and daring to be a moving target. How some people perceive that the Cupid's bow technique is emotive. A little bit about understanding men, that's a whole big massive subject in its own self. How you can add value in a man's mind, your value in a man's mind. The 3 A's, can you remember what they were from the last module? It's a little bit of a test for you again. Moving target, or living a life of what ifs. The Cupid's bow technique will have him cherishing you more, your feminine power operating at its very best, and lastly we covered some reasons why men pull away. So that's all the stuff we covered from module 2. So having done that last time, what is it between last time and this time that you've had any breakthroughs around? I don't know how long it is since you last listened to module 2, but thinking about it now, what breakthroughs have you had since completing module 2? If necessary, pause the video and just take a few seconds or minutes even to actually make some notes around what specific breakthroughs you feel you've had since completing that last module. Also, did anything prevent you from taking action after the last module? Again, these questions are going to come up regularly throughout each module. And if there was anything that prevented you from taking action, what is the underlying fear, do you think? What is it that prevented you from actually taking action on the back of last module 2? And if you can identify that fear, where else do you think, or where else do you let this fear run your life? These are very powerful questions to ask yourself, because like I said before, you know, if you can actually be aware that this is happening, you're halfway to solving it and getting rid of those fears. Because sometimes there can be barriers to success without even realizing that you are actually having fears. Okay, so moving on from there, we're going to then go into how to be a moving target. I'm going to guide you through the pursuit and how to use your feminine power to massively enhance your current or future intimate relationship. So what's the first thing? Well, the first thing is to adopt certain attitudes. And the certain attitudes I want you to adopt are around being cool, as in detached, confident, playful and polite, as against being cold, arrogant, aggressive or rude. You know, you can be sort of cool without it being aloof or coming across as being offensive, can't you? So it's just around exuding that confidence, which after doing all the exercises in module 1, I'm trusting that you are exuding a lot more confidence than you did previously. And we're also going to move on to now and talk about how to be less invested in the relationship. Whenever you feel that you have invested more and don't see an equal amount of return from your man, you must not move towards him. You must use the power of polarization by being a moving target to move back a little, a lot, or even in an unpredictable zigzag fashion. This will create enough space for your man to chase you and stretch his Cupid's bowstring taut with his next love arrow. Now, the way to do this is to be less available by limiting contact. Either no contact or wait a few hours after each call, text or email, unless it's an emergency of course, or rather I should say, before you respond. If you feel your man doesn't call or text you enough, and that you're always the one that's calling or texting him, your response must be to stop calling and texting him completely and wait for him to call or text you. The secret is to be a moving target and step back until he takes the necessary action, in other words, pursue you. If you're constantly checking your phone for messages from him and then replying immediately, again, stop. Wait a couple of hours before replying, or maybe not reply at all until he's contacted you a few more times. If he wonders what you've been doing, you've been busy. Even things like washing your hair, running errands, reading a magazine, watching a favourite TV programme, all these actions can class as being busy. The impression you want to give him is that your life doesn't revolve solely around him. Same thing if you're waiting by your phone for him to call and always answer on the first ring. Stop. Either let it ring several times or even miss the call. Rest assured, he will contact you again. Your woman's intuition will tell you how many times he needs to initiate action, in other words, pursue you, before you contact him back. You will get what you want if you allow him to chase you and lead the relationship. Okay, so moving on from that, I'm going to discuss how you can be unpredictable. Now, a good way to be unpredictable is to give him a lot of attention one day and be totally disinterested the next. When you give out mixed signals and keep your man confused, if you make him think that you're unsure about him and are leaving your options open, his attraction for you, believe it or not, reaches new heights, which then puts him in pursuit mode. Now, you don't want to do this in a rude or a cold way. You need to be more subtle. A good example would be to say to him that you'll call him in a couple of minutes, but then you don't call him at all. He'll more than likely contact you to ask why you didn't call. Reply by saying, "Oh, whoops, sorry, I got distracted with something." Now, what this does is, in his mind, he'll be thinking, she isn't showing much interest in me. She has other higher priorities. I'm not that important to her anymore. He'll imagine that he might lose you if he doesn't make more of an effort. Then once he realizes that it isn't such a high priority to you as he used to be, his primal instinct will kick in to powerfully drive him to demonstrate his value to you even more. Unpredictable behavior will keep any man stuck in the chase if you learn how to engage in it now and again. Now, the key here is balance. If you move too far, then he will be, he could feel discouraged and lose sight of you completely and won't bother to chase you. So if you didn't contact him for a few months, for example, then he probably would feel, okay, she's not interested. So the key here is to strike that balance. So show that you're interested when he does contact you, but at the same time, move enough to send him regular signals that will automatically engage his pursuit reflex. Now, this means being the one to, for the most part, make an excuse to end the text or phone conversation first, more often than not. And you can also be a moving target by being spontaneous. So if you feel that your relationship has become a bit dull or boring, you know, and it's a bit same old routine, then plan something different to snap things out of their normal routine, or just do something playful and random in a moment when he, you know, absolutely least expects it. Let's just summarize some of that information, because there's a lot to take on board, and I will expect that you'll probably pause the video at various times anyway whilst you're listening to this and make your own notes. But just to recap on the information that we've discussed so far, to be a moving target, sometimes you answer his calls and text immediately, other times you don't answer them for days. Sometimes you are easy and available, and other times you're hard to get and unavailable. Sometimes you give him loads of attention, and other times you give him very little or no attention. Sometimes you're predictable, and other times you're highly unpredictable. And sometimes you're interested and care a lot, and other times you're disinterested and indifferent. So the thing is, don't ever let him catch you too easily. Be a moving target and let him do the hard work of chasing you, which means that, you know, you engage in all of these things. The next thing I wanted to discuss is his love and connection rhythm. Now, men have a natural love and connection rhythm, which sometimes means he needs to pull away, just as part and parcel of being a man. So let me go and discuss this a little bit more. When you are together, be aware that he might need to pull away as part of his natural masculine love and connection rhythm. So if he seems sulky, tetchy, or irritable, remember, you haven't done anything wrong. It may be just, you know, that time in his normal rhythm where he just needs to pull back. That's just part of his normal masculine DNA. So recognize it's just time to step back and give him some space. He might need to go to his cave and just be on his own for a bit. Now, when this happens, you need to trust that everything is okay and that he will come back in his own time. During these moments, just focus on you and your own well-being by doing something that makes you happy. Be the queen of optimism and take responsibility for making sure your well-being cup is always full. The wise woman choice is to take your time and enjoy him in the here and now, instead of putting your attention on what might be in the future. It may seem strange and contradictory, but by acting with detachment, in other words, as if you have no expectations, I should say, of what may or may not happen to progress the relationship, it'll keep him on tenterhooks. He'll want to be more committed to you so that no other guy will be able to steal you away from him. It's really surprising that even a small change towards being a moving target can have a big impact on how much he'll want to connect with you. Excuse me, let me just have a sip of water. I'm getting a bit croaky. Okay. Now then, what being a moving target is and isn't. So being a moving target does not involve being aggressive, cold, or never being caught. What being a moving target means is not resigning yourself to having less than the deep love and happiness and commitment you crave. By giving him opportunities to pursue you, you'll both enjoy exhilarating and unforgettable experiences of excitement, laughter, fun, intensity, and deep love. Remember these words: wise women who act indifferent or who don't impose any expectations on their men to behave or be a certain way in their relationship have the most power. So I'm going to repeat that, and I want you to pause the video and actually write it down if necessary for you to remember. Wise women who act indifferent or who don't impose any expectations on their men to behave or be a certain way in their relationship have the most power. This course will change your mindset on the path to self-knowledge and awareness. You will never again be trapped by the same old boundaries, negative beliefs and conditioning. If you're open to undertaking this journey, it will no longer be just a dream. Your future intimate relationship will have all the deep love and commitment you could ever wish for. So if you've already got this far, congratulations. You've taken a massive step towards having a committed soulmate relationship. But I'm not quite finished, because in modules 4 and 5, you'll have the opportunity to take everything we just covered to another level. So let's just go on to discussing what is the most powerful strategy contained within this course. Now, you will appreciate that I can't cover everything you need to know about relationships with just one technique, yet there should be one strategy that is absolutely clear. It's important that you never forget it, because if you allow it to serve as your relationship building compass in helping you to distinguish between what's the thing that creates intimacy and what's the thing that doesn't, you'll get closer to your committed relationship dream with each passing day. So what is the crucial strategy? What is the comprehensive idea I gave you a heads up on right at the start and throughout this course? Well, actually, I've already clicked onto the slide and give you the answer, haven't I? Yes, it's the power of polarization. Now, even better than actually reading it, I want you to say it out loud. Seriously, the more you speak it, hear it, and let your mind immerse in it, the greater its impact and the faster your progress. So my best suggestion would be to write this down, stand up and put a big cheesy smile on your face and hold it up in front of yourself and repeat the words, the power of polarization. I want you to spend a small amount of effort to really get it. It's a fact. Numerous studies show you're more likely to remember a statement you actively engage in whilst reading. So this is my way to be sure you stop, understand this important message, and remember it for as long as you're a wise woman, get my teeth back in, Lynn, strategic thinker. Don't forget, hopeful searchers fail, strategic thinkers succeed. Okay, now that the crucial strategy is out of the way, let's discuss the next level. Now, for a lot of ladies, one of the key things they dream about having or doing is being and getting married. So what about if you want marriage? A lot of women have the opinion that men want to avoid commitment and being in a loving, lasting relationship. Well, I'm here to let you know that's just not true. If you want to be married and give yourself an advantage, trust me when I say men want to find the one just as much, if not more, than women do. Great men are inspired by the thought of marrying the love of their life because they don't just want to settle for any woman. He only wants to propose to his future queen. His queen is alive and well in his dreams. He's totally besotted, deeply in love, and worship her. What he doesn't know yet is if he is already with that woman. He would give his life for her and knows that he will be absolutely devoted to her once he's slain a few dragons that are in his path, and he'll want to make her his forever. Most men will not reveal this truth to you, but they consciously know that women have got it wrong when they think men don't want to get married. To really understand men, become aware of any negative beliefs around the false notion that men are afraid to commit. Then allow yourself to let go of them. Otherwise, he'll pick up on the fact that all you're bothered about is the commitment, when what he wants is his queen, the love of his life. And you've also got to remember that men, no matter how confident or egotistical or sometimes arrogant they can come across, they do have their own insecurities which they might mask. And one of those is being that you won't think that he's good enough. When he's in love, his masculine duty inspires him to demonstrate that he is worthy. His queen does not have to be drop dead gorgeous with a perfect figure, a domestic goddess around the house, a fantastic cook in the kitchen, a fantasy lover in the bedroom, and be at his beck and call whenever he clicks his fingers, although probably I think that's probably a nice idea. Good men do not like to be perceived as chauvinist pigs, with the proviso that, yeah, okay, sometimes they might act it in jest. Good men are normally, though, then they're chivalrous, they're charming, and they want to be our heroes and have more simple, down-to-earth ideas about what sort of woman would make their ideal queen. Being good-looking and pretty may attract, but external beauty is not enough to keep a man long-term. A man considers seriously wanting to commit to a woman when he is attracted to her inner beauty and nature. A good man wants to be enamored with that elusive, special woman and be emotionally driven to have her as his queen. He wants the honor of being her king and asking for her hand in marriage. To be understood, first you have to understand. Let me repeat that because that's quite a key piece of information there. To be understood, first you have to understand. If you really grasp and practice these principles, you'll be able to give him that honor. This is what I discuss in more detail in modules 4 and 5. If there have been times when your man has been uncertain, if you are that honored woman, modules 4 and 5 provide the guidance to give him that wake-up call. The reality is this: if you love your man and want to be in a loving, fulfilling marriage, give yourself the advantage. I'll reveal how to get a proposal without any conflict. And here's the really, really cool bit. He'll come to this conclusion all on his own, and it'll all be his idea. So really exciting modules coming up. So I just want to summarize what we've covered in module 3. So in this module, we've covered how to be a moving target and what that actually means, and the attitudes that you need to adopt, how to be less invested in the relationship, how to be unpredictable, his own natural love and connection rhythm, what being a moving target is and isn't, and the most powerful strategy contained within this course, which is, of course, polarization. Sorry, just had a little cough then come up. So after doing those subjects with me today, the final question of the module is, what have been the aha moments? What have you actually learned today? So pause the video, think about all the bits and bobs that we've discussed, that I've just summarized, and think, actually, you know what? I've really learned this key thing today, or this little gem, and just make a note. Okay, let me just give you an overview of what's coming up in module 4, some exciting stuff coming up in module 4. So module 4, what if you want marriage? How to handle the urge to contact him first? What if he's moaning or complaining? Why you need to let go of your expectations. We've touched on that a bit today. How to voice your wants and desires. How to let go of your expectations. The common mistakes women make. How to create an emotional attachment. This is from him to you. How to live in your feminine energy. And how to pour water on the conflict fire. So if you are engaged in a lot of conflicts with your current or have been in the past in a previous relationship, then there's some great tips in that as to how to create calm and peace in a really good feminine way. All right, so really looking forward to seeing you on Module 4. Hope you've got some great insights from today's Module 3, and I'll see you in the next module. So bye for now.